All right, it's 2 o'clock.
It is 2 o'clock.
And it's time for our class. Today it's called Mental Health / Mental Wealth. And it's a topic that is something that's often not talked about very much. And it's one that's kind of difficult to talk about. And I don't know if it's just because of the stigma surrounding mental health, or if it's because it's our own self-stigmas that we don't like to talk about it, or we don't like to admit it maybe. But it is something that we all have to deal with, and we all have to find ways to improve in that aspect of our lives, right? Like, so often the focus is always on the physical, right? Like, what does your body look like, your weight look like, your cardiovascular, that kind of stuff, right? But it's really important that we're taking care of our mental health as well. So hopefully we'll be able to share some tips with you today that are going to be good for you, and maybe you can make them part of your routine to help you in your mental health.
Definitely, you brought up something really important about the stigma that's out there. There's a lot of stigma around our families and our friends and strangers and coworkers, but there's also that self-stigma portion of it. Sometimes what you're feeling, those other people actually don't feel that way, or would ever say those things you think they might say. So I think it's important just to realize and take check on what's your own self-stigma, or what you're putting on other people, and maybe what is their real stigmas, because there is definitely stigma coming for those people. It's not like that doesn't exist. Mm-hmm. So just trying to find that balance. I think that's important.
Exactly, and just trying to tune into yourself and have that self-awareness, just checking in to see, like, how am I doing? Like, am I really okay? I've been telling people I'm okay all day, but am I really? Like, it quickly, rolls off your tongue saying, yeah, I'm fine, I'm good, but are you, right? Like, really check in and make sure that you're being honest. And sometimes, we say that we're fine as like some kind of mechanism to protect mm-hmm. us, and maybe we're just not quite ready to deal with that. And so there's some really cool products that we can use to tap into that, to access, like, that sort of core, what's going on. And there's tools that can also help just to provide that balanced state that your body wants to get into, of course, with these products, if you're using them on a daily basis and if you're using them with intention. So where shall we begin?
Well, I just want to talk a little bit more about that.
Okay.
Before we get in.
It's a lot, right?
I know. And when I was talking about that, like being okay and pretending you're okay, and I think that's important too, because there's a lot out there, people have talked about it, like the idea of it's okay to not be okay. But then there was like this backlash of like, it's okay to be okay. And I think that's very interesting. Of course it's okay to be okay. Why would we even say that? No one's coming around looking for you not to be okay. But it's also okay to not be okay and to pretend that you're okay. Right?
Yeah.
I know there's a lot in that statement, but I think you guys are getting it, is that it's really okay to pretend, but I think you should just be aware that you're pretending, mm-hmm. and just know that you're pushing through, because that really is a red flag that you need to maybe doing a little more self-care and see what you can do for yourself.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, exactly. Yeah, that just has me thinking, like, it's enough just as you are, and it's okay just as you are. So whether you're really vibing today and having a good one, or you're finding it hard just to move and take that next step, like, that's okay. And I think, like, as humans, we have this expectation that somehow we're supposed to be happy all the time, and things are supposed to be rainbows and butterflies all the time, and I just don't know how that...
It's not real life.
No, like, how is that even possible? You're a living, breathing human being, and so much affects us in our body chemistry, our brain chemistry, the weather in itself, the atmospheric pressure, life. Like, come on, like, look at what's been going on for the past 6 months. Everyone has pressures and stressors that they're dealing with their jobs or family or everything, right? Like, everything right now, it seems to be a lot. And so a lot of people are feeling overwhelmed. And so hopefully we have some things that can help out if you're feeling that stress, and if you're feeling like I could use any help. So hopefully you'll find something here.
Okay. That's enough prelude.
That's a lot.
I could keep going.
We could talk about this
keep going. So let's just get into some stuff. So mental health is complex. There are a lot of essential oil options that can really help you create a shift, a change, lift up when you need to lift up, pull down the anxiety when you need that pull down. So I think there's a lot of aspects there, but the other part of it is those tools are there to help you do more for yourself. So you still have to do the other parts. Just relying on oils will, of course, always help, but you need to find that balance and use the oils to help you do the things that maybe you wouldn't get done if you didn't use the oils. And I think that that's really, really important.
Yeah, I think it's important to mention as well that you can be, feel free to use any and all of doTERRA's products alongside whatever your current protocols are. So with conjunction with your doctors and your psychologists or whatever naturopathy doctor that you're working with, know that you can do these alongside. So it doesn't have to be all or none. Everyone's completely different, and everyone's bodies and brains are going to require something different. So if you have something that's working for you, we don't just say stop everything altogether and make a change. What we will say is, why not add some things in and see how that helps, and who knows how it can impact your future treatments and that. So just really important to say, like, it's a good thing to have help from everyone that you can get help from.
Exactly.
Right? So if
100%.
you can make this part of your plan, it's really awesome to add in because it's super easy, and everyone in the home is gonna love it. You're gonna love it, and it might just help boost your mood and make you feel great. So
all right, so let's get into some stuff.
Let's
here.
roll.
So we can start at the beginning of the day,
Yeah.
but you know what the beginning of the day is? The night before.
You guys heard this already.
Serenity, I know, I'm going to keep saying it.
Yeah.
Serenity, easy to go to for sleep. We talked about sleep, either the last episode or the one before.
Yeah.
So we don't need to get too deep into sleep on that, but using Serenity to help get that good night's sleep, because if you don't, mental health is not going to go that well no matter what you do.
Exactly.
You need that good sleep. But also, because Serenity isn't really sedative, it doesn't do that, it just kind of dials things back. It's another really good tool that people use throughout the day if they need to. For me, I don't use it during the daytime and just use it to sleep. But what I do use every single day is adaptive capsules. That's every single day. And if I forget it by noon, Gwen has noticed that I've forgotten it.
Yeah, so if you haven't heard about Adaptive yet, like, oh my gosh, we're not doing our job right, because Adaptive is one of the most exciting products that doTERRA has launched, and they created it with first responders and military in mind, actually. So it was a 3-part system. They heard that the need is there, that so many people need help with the stressors of their jobs, from the mental health aspect, and so the trio of Adaptive is grouped together to be used together, and so they're all slightly different. And Derek's talking about the one supplement that you can take internally. So it's just like a little capsule. You take it each day, and there's some really awesome ingredients in here that make it unique, so you're not going to find it anywhere else. And it's also, to be noted, it's not just the oil in cap form, so just so you know that, this is completely different in supplement form. And yes, I take this one every single day and make that part of my routine. So as soon as I get up, flush out and get some water and get that Adaptive in me right away, because Derek's right, like, if you don't take it, like, your people around you will notice a difference, and it may not be a good thing, or you might notice it in yourself. So
Yep.
it's a good one. And it's also important to note that these are all not addictive forming. So we take them on a daily basis because we know how great it helps our bodies to feel. But that being said, it doesn't become an addictive property. So there's no withdrawal symptoms or anything like that if you were to use these on a daily basis and stop. Like, it's just, you would notice the mood difference, which...
Correct.
Yeah, exactly. Same with Serenity. So I know a lot of people are concerned taking not supplements, taking any kind of meds to help sleep, over the counter or whatnot, because they can be so addictive forming. So
yeah, definitely Serenity is one of those ones you just take it when you need it. Some people use Adaptive just when they need it. I need it every day.
Yeah, me
so
too.
That's okay.
Yeah, sometimes twice a day. On the bottle it does say take as needed. So if you are going through hardships or something really that's just brutal, like we've had some days like that too, where we do have to top it up throughout the day.
Yep.
And then so for sleep and just for calming, relaxing, to help you get in that better mental state, Derek mentioned Serenity and Adaptive. Some people like to take the combination of these two to help them sleep at night. And Serenity could be used in the morning if you find that you have a lot of anxious feelings. I know I went through quite a while, like probably a year, of taking Serenity with Copaiba because my anxiety was just completely through the roof and making my days unmanageable. So that was something that I made part of my plan in my early morning routine.
Yeah. All right, next.
Next, Well, Derek has all these oils lined up, and so we may as well go to adaptive because that's the 3-part program. He has the roller in his hand, and he has the pure oil. And so these are oils that doTERRA specifically chose to help you get into that calm, relaxed state where you're able to focus and you're able to feel uplifted and just kind of held or carried, right? Like it's just definitely this aroma that makes you feel, it's delicious by the way. Like it smells like, I'm trying to think of what it smells like. Something from my childhood that's really like nice. And so if you get it in the roller format, it's diluted so that you can put it right on your skin. There is orange in this though, so of course you're not going to go sunbathe right with your adaptive on. You're going to put it underneath your clothing or on the bottoms of your feet.
Yeah, and it's available for just in the bottle for diffusing. You can add coconut oil as you need to, or preloaded in the roller ready to go. Really, really handy to have. It's a great alternative to say balance or those types of oils that are very grounding, and lots of research actually around the effects of the adaptive oil when it's diffused or breathed in.
Yeah,
really,
for
really
focus and for concentration. So if you are choosing to homeschool or do remote learning for your kids, you'll want to get some of this adaptive going and make that part of your routine as well for studying and for focus. It has rosemary, which is really great. There's lots of studies showing how the brain responds to that for learning. So and concentration. So it's a great one to have and sort of get them in that mindset and mood. Because it's going to be stressful. You know that. You've had 6 months of that. And so using the aromatics of these essential oils will definitely help put you in that calm state. We often say if you can't, like if you're worried about putting it on your skin, to go out in the sun, to put on the bottoms of your feet or the bottom of your big toe. And why we do this, do you want to talk about that a little? Or no?
Nope, that one's you.
That's all me. Okay. So when we're telling you to do this, some people look at us like we're completely crazy. But if you have ever gone to a chiropractic office, you see this great big chart with reflexology points. And so that's how all of our nerves in our body are connected and how everything in our body is connected, right? And so if we access these certain points in our like on the bottoms of our feet or on our hands, you're going to be able to stimulate certain parts of the body and brain. And so especially when we're talking about mood and stress, our brain is definitely the biggest organ that clicks on and is affected, right? It gives you all that monkey brain and all that stuff. So when you massage it into the bottom of your big toe, it's one of those reflexology points which is going to impact and reach the brain first. So that's it in a nutshell. It's a lot more complicated than that, but that's why we say it. So people always look sideways and say, well, why on the bottoms of your feet? But of course, you're going to get the benefit of it moving throughout your whole body, right? We know that it accesses your skin and then it goes through the different layers into your bloodstream, and you get the effect whole body, which is why sometimes when people take adaptive for stress, to help support their body with stress, that they start to notice things like the kink in their shoulder feels a little bit better, or they start to feel like, oh, this knee that's been bothering me for a while, all of a sudden it doesn't give me as much discomfort as it has in the past. So it's really
shocking,
neat. Yeah.
But our whole body is connected to our whole body.
It totally is, right? Whoa, blew your mind. If you are able to see an RMT, which we are really lucky to have some awesome ones that will incorporate these essential oils, if you were to see how they feel about it, but adaptive with your massage, it is like out of this world. So if you can, we highly recommend that too.
Yep, that's a good option. All right, a really good go-to when things aren't going your way that day. So anytime we talk about the future, anxiety, that gave me anxiety just saying the word future, that's where anxieties are all based, right? It's about things that could happen, not things that are happening at the moment, but things that could happen in the future. And those like start to spin and spiral. And that's when I reach for Copaiba. It allows me to dial it down. We use it with the little dropper that you can get, and just makes it easier to drop underneath your tongue. Or you can go with capsule. You can make your own capsules too. These just don't dissolve when you want to take them with you somewhere. Nice and easy to take that. And it really does just dial it right down. And that's sort of an as needed. I don't use this every single day, but I use it as I need to throughout the day. Today is a lot of Copaiba day. Other days, not so much.
Yeah, exactly. It's really great for those feelings of like when you're really agitated or irritable, or you're just feeling like the whole world's out to attack you. This is a great one to reach for. So that's one that we keep handy in many places in our home. So it's a great one for that. And it has a lot of benefits to it. We've done lots of talks on copaiba, but it does access another part of your brain that's really great for overall positive inflammatory responses. And just like Derek said, it can really help to regulate and modulate that mood. So it's one that we won't be without.
I think what's really cool is about all of these things have side benefits.
Yeah.
They don't have side effects.
Right.
That's really cool.
Yeah, exactly.
I love that.
Me too. Also, copaiba is amazing to diffuse. I love to pair it with some kind of citrus. So my personal favorite would be equal parts wild orange in copaiba or citrus bliss in copaiba. Like it does something really neat when it's mixed together.
It has this smokiness to it, so it really adds a deep element to the citrus oils.
Yeah, so it almost makes the citrus like more sugary smelling or something too, which is really nice. So I would highly recommend that to you. I would say even starting with 3 drops citrus, 1 drop of copaiba, see how you like that, and then you can bump it up to half and half, equal, like 2 and 2 or 3 and 3.
Yep.
Okay, the other thing we have to mention is that with these products, especially with Adaptive, we want to be making it part of our regular routine, right? So it's any of the oils that you reach for are great in a pinch. Like if you're starting to feel like you're getting pulled down or you're unmotivated or you're feeling kind of in the dumps, it's great to grab any oil, and that can provide relief. But if you want the best effect, you want to make sure that you're doing things on a consistent daily basis. And I think I had a really good example of that happening to me. I think it was a couple days back. First, my knee was causing me some issues, and so I wasn't overly excited to get my workouts in. That's another part of my mental health plan, is to make sure I have at least 30 minutes of movement a day, whether it's walking, but it needs to be a sweat for me. And it came to the next day and I was feeling totally crummy. I didn't want to do it at all. But because I've been doing this for a long time, I forced myself to work out. Usually I get some kind of pickup from this workout, and it just didn't do it. So I was disappointed. I was thinking this one workout should cut it, right? Like I'm sure a lot of you have had that, where you think that one thing is going to be the same result every single time, right? So you want to make sure that you're using that disciplined approach to doing whatever you're doing consistently, like making sure you're on LLV, right? There's such a huge component of mental health with your own body nutrition and making sure that you have the nutrients and minerals that it needs. If your body is out of whack, that can cause a lot of mental health issues for you as well, right? Like if you're lacking in minerals and vitamins. So that was my problem too. I think I skipped a day or something. So anyway, so back to my little story. Worked out, was feeling a little bit bummed about it. Came upstairs and I just accessed any and all oils that I usually would grab. So I smelled like a whole lot of oils. So I had Adaptive, I had Bergamot, I had Cheer, I had Arise, and I just slathered them on me. I didn't care about the sun because I was in a mode and I was staying inside. I got the diffuser going, and instantly I felt a switch just in that quick, your nose recognizes that smell. Like some part of your brain's activated to switch you out, or at least grab your attention. And that was so important because a lot of things just weren't, right?
Yep.
So did that, grabbed some food, which was important, had a chat with this guy, had a good cry, put on some trashy TV, and I told myself I was only going to watch 2 shows, and that was it. And I popped another Adaptive. And it was within that time frame, I was like a different person. So make sure that you're keeping that strong foundation like we've talked about before, with your food, with your nutrition, your supplements. If you're doing something like Adaptive, you want to make sure you're keeping that up. And your exercise, you need to do some kind of movement. Getting yourself out of the house, even though it's really hard right now. Getting that sleep, it's so important, because even though in that day or in that moment it feels like nothing's working, it does work, right? It's just not on your time frame. So if you continue to keep up the consistency of all the things that you know are the right tools and the right approaches, it will, like for me, it clicked on like a light switch, right?
Yep, I think it's important on some of those notes that with the stereotypical, the guy response is to not even listen, kind of listen, and then come up with solutions and answers. That's not always the answer.
Yeah.
And I'm saying it's stereotypical guy because it's not always guys that are doing that.
Girls do it too.
Women do it too.
Yeah.
So, by just, here's what I did. I listened. I didn't really solve your problem. I was just supportive and made sure you'd done all the right things as far as oils and working out, and I made you some lunch and
Yeah.
just was supportive. That's it. And I didn't set expectations that you're gonna turn your mood around so that I can have a better day. Like, there was no expectations there. It was maybe your day was just gonna be crappy, and that's okay.
Yeah. And so a lot of people often say, well, how do you support someone, right? Like, you're there for them or you feel like you're doing so much, but yeah, it's not in the act of fixing someone. It's just in truly like letting them feel seen and heard. And yeah, like Derek said, it's like a checklist of things. Like, okay, so Gwen's feeling like garbage today. So did she do these things? Can I make a suggestion for her to go in that direction? Is there something I can do? Like, can I pop on the diffuser, right? Or can I get a roller out and, you know, offer it up or something? So having that checklist available in his mind was like a really great first step. And it wasn't to solve, it wasn't to push. It was just to acknowledge that, yeah, like you're gonna have days like this. Like everyone does. And it's very human to do that. So I think we just all don't have enough of that message being spread. So try not to get that pressure on you, but I know the more we can get educated about how mental health actually works and how our physical, emotional body is connected, I think we're all going to do a lot better for ourselves and not put that pressure or expectation that there's going to be a one quick fix all, right? It takes a lot of time. You don't get into a bad state mentally just on a whim, right? It's a collection of time, just like when you are trying to lose weight. Well, you didn't just gain all that weight in one day, right? So you can't expect yourself to lose it all in one day, right? So you have to keep doing the consistent things. So I don't know if I went on a tangent there, but support looks like actually being open and just listening and acknowledging. I can tell you're having a really crappy day. That's okay. You know, there's nowhere you need to be. You can just be here and just be. And that's really the best way to support, in my opinion.
Yep.
Okay. I have these gorgeous oils here, just to offer up more tips of our favorite ones that we reach for. Derek mentioned balance, adaptive, serenity, and it all depends on like what kind of mood and what's going on, right? So there are different blends that specifically will help you if you're feeling certain ways. So the emotional aromatherapy line has some great offerings there with different things like motivate and cheer and console and forgive, and peace and passion. Like the whole line, obviously, it makes it really easy to choose. Like, you know, I want to feel more of this or comforted here, so you can just grab them. Don't be afraid to mix them up. Like I take one and I roll it on my forearm, one on the other forearm, and I do the crazy grasshopper roll, and I breathe it in, and it really helps. Like, because you're never just needing motivation. You're also maybe needing some forgiveness, or you're needing some passion, or you're needing something to just, you know, emotions aren't usually only one singular thing either. So don't be afraid to mix and match, especially if they're in roller form, because it's really easy.
This like motion actually has a lot to it because you're connecting yourself to yourself. You're like kind of embodying the fact that you are here, you're present, and you're like touching your arms together, which is not something we really do a lot of, right?
Yeah.
You touch your hands together, but not very much do you actually rub your arms together. So it's kind of cool.
Yeah, like it's a form of grounding. So I have like the citrus oils here as well, like lemon, the citrus mixes of Arise and Cheer. Bergamot is one that we've talked about too, with Dr. Danielle Daniels. She did her PhD on bergamot essential oil and the effects on people with PTSD. And so this is one that she mentions specifically on how it can trigger the limbic system and do some wonderful things for people, give them a lot of therapeutic benefit by using the bergamot oil.
Yep.
And so I definitely want to talk about, it could be any oil for you, but I find that bergamot really is really wonderful. And so what you do is you just put a drop in your hand. We need more bergamot, my goodness. And you rub them together. All right, and you're gonna make a little tent over your nose, over your mouth like Derek's doing. And you're gonna take some long, deep inhales. And slow, like don't hyperventilate, right? Just nice, slow breathing. And if you can do it with your eyes closed, that's amazing. Usually just because it's really overstimulating sometimes if you have your eyes open, right? So if you can close down your eyes, and if you have some kind of meditation app, you can do that. If you don't, that's okay. Like just close your eyes, breathe it in, and maybe just think of the different things you can hear around you, the things you can smell, like the oil, obviously. You can think about your feet on the ground and just connect yourself and ground yourself into that place of being, and keep doing it until you do notice that shift or that change. And it's really like, bergamot is awesome, and it's one that you'll often smell if you come in our house. So it's really great to help you get into that state, and to feel comforted by the oils. Sort of slows down that whole fight or flight response that happens sometimes in your brain, right?
Yep.
All right. The other tip I want to offer up, just because it is really great to have a strong foundation or a strong routine in place so that you can count on it, you kind of bank on it, right? Like if when you wake up in the morning, that's a real struggle for you to actually get up and go and move, what I'm gonna say is something that is actually one of our first experiences in going to a doTERRA event, and they had peppermint essential oil and wild orange, which I don't know where it got legs and it walked off, so I don't know where the orange went, but try peppermint and wild orange either in your diffuser, or you can do the same thing where you put a drop of each in your hand. So what I'm gonna ask you to do is to put a bottle of peppermint and wild orange beside your bed. So as soon as that alarm goes off and you get yourself up enough, reach for those bottles, put a drop of each, and Derek's already doing the demo. You're gonna rub it in your hands, and already like the peppermint is, I believe it's the oil of buoyancy. So it really makes you feel like uplifted. And
don't breathe in too hard. It is very powerful.
Woo!
Very powerful.
Even just doing this, if you feel like this is too much, and just breathing, it's very stimulating, the peppermint, and the wild orange is really like delicious too. So try to breathe it in as best you can. A few times. It's very like awakens your throat and awakens your lungs. Oh, I love it. And even just that first effect, even if you happen to not be in the mood, even if you're feeling like I'm just gonna go back to bed in 5 minutes, do it anyways. And then continue this process. Try it for a couple weeks and see, because eventually you're gonna notice some kind of switch, right? Or eventually your body's gonna get used to this feeling, and your brain's gonna kick in before your thoughts can kick in, which is a really interesting thing.
Yeah.
It's uplifting, it's awesome. I use peppermint before every single workout to open up my airways, but also to give me that extra kick and that extra uplift, like I can do this, right? And it's a lot more fun to work out with oils, by the way. Diffuse them, get them on your skin, by your nose. It's really gonna be helpful, especially if you are someone like me, who I didn't always enjoy like working out. It was a chore. So if you want to change anything from being in that chore state, get the oils involved in your cleaning and everything. It's going to uplift your mood. So
awesome.
We've got a lot of oils on us right now.
Woo!
So if you oh yeah, and I also brought out the Arise because I was thinking about this is from the yoga collection. You can buy them independently now, but yoga is another great form as well of stress relief that you can offer yourself. And again, doubled with oils is really great just to give you that extra kick. Frankincense is amazing before meditations as well. So I don't know, did we cover everything we wanted to talk about?
I think that's it.
I think that was it. I think just the message just really needs to be that when you are looking at helping to support your mental health, it's not going to be an overnight fix. Like anything in this world, you're never going to find something that's just going to be like, boom, that's it. You need to develop what you feel comfortable with in terms of routines, things that are doable. You're going to make things easier for yourself by having them set up so that you're ready to access them. Like that's the most important thing. The days that I've been off track, I didn't have my stuff where I usually have it, right? For some reason it got moved or bumped or ran out and I never refilled, that kind of stuff. So be good to yourself by making sure that you're prepped for it. So like Derek mentioned, getting ready for the next day, you need to have your stuff ready to go to sleep. So have your diffuser there with an extra bottle of water. Maybe it's just a water bottle that you have the water in. So when you go to bed,
you're ready.
Yeah, that sounded weird in my head. Yeah. You can easily fill up the diffuser, have the oil that you like to sleep with right there too, so you don't have to go digging or searching for it. If you use the roller like I do, like Calmer, have that available to you too, right beside your diffuser, right beside your bed, or maybe it's your light switch. Like it's got to be something where you're going to see it and you're going to access it right away. Your vitamins, try to get them as close to the food as possible, or the plates or the glasses, whatever, that you can actually see them, so you take them. We had to do that. We set up a whole place over in our kitchen just for that purpose. Just the same as the Adaptive, it's out there, it's in our face, so we have to remember to take it. Having that morning wake up with the peppermint and wild orange right beside your bed, or right beside your toothbrush actually is a really good one, because a lot of us would never imagine not brushing our teeth throughout the day, right? Or first thing in the morning at least. So if you have those two oils right beside your toothbrush, you're not going to forget. So having them there, being able to recognize, cue in, oh yeah, I guess I should take that, And for me, I have this little box of oils beside the couch. So that's a relax area. And so that's kind of meditation, relaxation, TV, just chill out time. But I have the oils there because when we go there, maybe I'm needing to pick up, maybe I need something else. And sometimes I just put on oils to relax, right? Or to get ready for that time of night or whatever. So having them in an accessible place, you're gonna use them and access them a lot more.
Absolutely.
That was a lot. But yeah, preparation's key, and consistency is always king, right? So we need to make sure that they're there where we can see them, so to give ourselves a break and not have to think about it as much.
So we covered a lot.
We talked about a lot.
And if you're kind of wondering, okay, well, what do I need to do? Where should I start? You don't need to do all these things, right?
That's
I know we keep saying that, but don't try to do all the things, because it's so hard to do all the things, and usually people can't continue that kind of program. So don't try to do all the things. But if you have a question about what's going on for you, and maybe it will be the best one thing to start with, reach out to Gwen or I, and we'll absolutely coach you through that and help you find the right thing for you that can start to cause that shift.
Absolutely. I love that, actually, because I'm thinking about in terms of when you finally make a decision for yourself, like you really want to get in shape, let's say, right? I don't know how many times I've done this. I feel like I have to change my whole diet and get this exercise routine going. It needs to be like 0 to 100 right away. And that works for a little bit for me until I get hurt, or until I hit, like
or you just don't even have the time to do it anymore.
Yeah, exactly. Like it's unobtainable, because it can't be everything all at once all the time, right? So take something from what we talked about that you feel would be easiest. Like, is it easiest for you just to have a bottle of peppermint beside your bed, so when you wake up you take a whiff of that? Cool, do that, and try to do that for 21 days, right? Why 21 days? Derek's like the king of this.
21 days is how many days it takes to form a habit and make a change.
Yeah.
So when you do something for 21 days, you've created this new habit, a new sort of rewiring of your brain. So it takes that long to unwire things. It also takes that long to rewire for a positive.
Yeah, exactly. So if that, and actually, you know what, that feels like, just even saying that, it feels a lot lighthearted and less pressure than let's do sleep and this and this. No, take one thing, try it for 21 days. If after that 21 days, that's cool, that's like locked in, that's great, then move on to sleep, right? And say, I'm going to take a Serenity cap every night before bed for 21 days. Right? And if that's cool and that works out well for you, then fantastic, right? So you're just building on to like each habit over a period of time, and you're gonna feel motivated, because when you get past those 21 days and it's a success, you've done it, right? You're gonna want to do the next thing, right? So then everything starts to piggyback on itself. So it is way better for you if you choose just one thing, right? Maybe stress is a big issue for you right now. You're way overwhelmed. Pick what's going to be best for you. Is it going to be sleep, or is it going to be that 1 minute of just breathing in every time you feel that overwhelm happening? Like, what is it going to be? Make it for you, and find what works for you. And if some of these oils don't appeal to you, find oils that do, because every single oil will be offering some sort of emotional benefit for you, and some sort of like light switch moment in your brain, because of the constituents that all these oils have. We didn't even talk about lavender or magnolia. Like, these are amazing oils too that you could incorporate into your routines.
Absolutely.
I think the thing is, it's like every oil is great. You will not go wrong, right? There's some that might be slightly better or might just really do it for you, but every oil is going to offer some benefits. So start with what you have, and start with making it a habit, and you're going to find a lot of success, and you'll be really proud of yourself to get through 21 days. And Melissa oil, like, we didn't even talk about Melissa oil.
Oh, there's so many.
So we can't cover mental health, mental wealth all in one shot. We're going to have to do more of these for sure. But I feel like we have a lot of videos already. But yes, definitely thinking about mood switches with your Melissa oil, with lavender, with magnolia. Oh my goodness, like you could talk about
So
every
many
single
great
oil.
things. So many different categories
Yeah.
of oils to kind of play with and find the right spot for you.
Exactly. So try not to complicate things and just keep things simple. Like Derek said, if you have any questions or you'd like us to help you choose some oils for you and your specific needs, like we're all over that. We love it. Reach out, say hey, ask what can I create here to help me with this or that. And we'd love to help you. So make sure that you do.
All right.
Okay, I think we did well. We're around 30 minutes, so I think it's a good place to end.
We did it. We're staying on this 30-minute kick. We're trying real hard.
We're trying to keep things more simplistic.
Toy.
Very tweet. Right.
All right. Everyone have an awesome day, and we'll see you again soon.
Take care, guys.
Bye.
Bye.